just to give you a preview of what we're going to do, we're going to talk about 6 different instruments. We have a couple polls to kind of some guessing games and things like that to answer before you see the instrument. The 6 of us who did this, put this together, are not musicians, so, or very good musicians. So if you have any background information or you want to chime in, please do so in the chat. We'll manage that as we go along. And if you think I'm playing videos too long, feel free to tell me to move on. I'm going too slow, but in the chat. Okay, so first instrument. So the way we're going to do this, oh, I gotta find my polls again. I'm going to play a sound, and you guys are going to guess which instrument it is. Okay, so I just launched the first poll. Can everybody see it? Okay, so the first poll is out. I'm going to...
Molly, you're muted.
I don't know how I got muted. I think user error. Okay, but you heard, you see the poll, and somebody knows what the answer is before I play the sound. Okay, so take a guess. I can play the sound again. 13 of 18. Simona, maybe some of you remember when this one is. Last 4 people want to put their bid in. Okay, that's 16, so I'm going to end the polling. Okay, most people said it was B, but most people were wrong. Well, it was actually D, so half of you got it correct. Okay, so I will stop share. And yeah. And I'm going to launch a second poll. This one is, there's no pressure here, just a simple question. Maybe you can kind of guess based on what you see in the video, maybe you can't, but I'm going to play a video. So everybody take a look at the true false question. See if you can answer it based on the video just by using what you see or hear as some kind of clues. Okay, this is... Get your answers in if you don't have. Hopefully you can see the poll. Okay, so now I'm gonna share the poll with you that most of you thought this was true, but Bethany's here to tell us what is actually going on with this Japanese instrument.
Thanks, Molly. So what we just witnessed was a performance using the bin-zasara, and it was developed in Japan, first in rural areas, but at this point you can find this instrument being played in cities all across Japan as well. It's played for folk music called dangaku. or field music. And the field music was heavily influenced by Buddhist elements. The scriptures found in temples were from 1400 years ago. So during the dance associated with what we just saw, performers mimic gestures found from agricultural labor, and this dance is also regularly performed during a harvest festival, specifically for the harvesting of rice. So this is a percussion instrument and is typically created with wood, as you can see, and the two handles are held at either end, and the player then uses movements that are either more horizontally or vertical to then open and close the instrument. That's it.
Thank you, Bethany. We'll remove you from the spotlight. Okay, so I'm going to launch another poll, and this one is about the next instrument. Okay, so in this one, you're going to listen to the sound and guess. So hopefully take a look at the poll, and then as I play it, pick the sounds. I'm missing lots of votes. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Okay, so as you can see, it was C. Oh, you guys are good. You got it. Okay. Oops, I didn't show you. There's the results. Sorry about that. So 43% of you got it right. Now, we will move on to the next poll, and this is just another true-false question, so maybe you can pick this up from the video. Okay, so watch the video. We'll watch maybe 2 minutes of the video and try to determine if this is true or false. Okay, I'm going to end there. I'm missing 5 votes, but that's okay. Maybe you can see Oh, 76% of you. Now Leah's going to tell you whether you're right or wrong and what's true about this instrument, or this
Yes.
ensemble, I should say.
Yes. So you guys are right that it's true that in Indonesia, gamelan is kind of played with just one gender for religious reasons. It's the largest Muslim nation in the world. And gamelan can actually refer to the collection of traditional instruments. So typically it's an orchestra of gongs, metallophones, xylophones, and drums. It originates from the islands of Bali and Java in Indonesia and goes back as far as the 8th century. You would typically see a gamelan ensemble in a traditional religious or formal Indonesian ceremony. And one thing that I thought was really interesting about this this instrument, this orchestra, is each ensemble has to tune to itself instead of to a standard pitch, because the instruments are very difficult to tune. So each ensemble will tune to itself before playing. Thanks, Molly.
Okay, thanks, Leah. I'm going to launch the next poll. Here we go. And this is about the third instrument. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay, I will play the sound and you guys pick which one. Okay, well done. You guys got it. It's the kora. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So it's the kora, and we'll watch this guy. Well, I launched the next true/false question. So, if you can watch the video, maybe you can determine what the correct answer is here after watching this guy. Let me give you a little bit. Okay, we got most polls in, so you guys, that was maybe too easy because everybody got it easily from the video, but I'll give you a little bit more information about the kora. So it's unique to West Africa, and it belongs to a whole family of sorry, I didn't capitalize coast, but to a family of like calabash harps. And it was mostly used by the Mandinka people, and they are current, like in the current location, kind of in those three countries, Mali, Guinea, and Ivory Coast. So they do have, like a lot of African countries have a long history of oral tradition. And this is the instrument that a lot of those artists played when they were telling the story. So you can tell it's made from a calabash as the body, and then cow skin for the soundboard, and then there's a hardwood neck. So I thought it was interesting. You can see the big hole. Sometimes they put coins in there. Sometimes they would put coins in there to praise the singers in appreciation for their performance. And also I think it's interesting because it's played with the two hands, 10 strings on one, 11 strings on the other, which allows them to play both the melody and the rhythm at the same time. So that's the kora. Now we're gonna move on to this guy. Oh, let me stop these. And I will send you a guess. Okay, when I play the sounds, you're gonna guess which instrument this is. Sorry. Okay, lost control of the instrument. Okay, and you guys got it, this one. And oh yeah, this is the one from Brazil. I'm not going to pronounce it. I think Lindsay knows how to pronounce it the best, so I'll stop this one. And then we're going to give you a little more information about it. Okay, here comes the true false. So take a minute to look at the question. See if you might be able to answer from the picture. But in the meantime, we'll watch this guy with his magical playing. Any more guesses for that one? Okay. Oh, it's 50-50. I'll let Lindsay share the truth to you, the true one.
Yes, so that actually is false. The tambourine has more jingles than a pandeiro, I believe is the correct pronunciation. I may not be exactly correct, but I've been brushing up on my Spanish, so that's as close as I can get. So it is a very popular hand-framed drum in Brazil. It's been described as the unofficial instrument of Brazil, although some believe that it did originate in Portugal, and then it was brought over to Brazil, where it just, again, became very popular and just been described as the instrument there. Its diverse sounds, rhythms, and beats are used everywhere in Brazilian music and culture, which is highly praised there in Brazil. It's essential in samba and played throughout Mardi Gras. And as you can visually tell, it's very similar to the tambourine, but the pandeiro has only one row of jingles, whereas the tambourine has two. And one of the big differences between this and the tambourine is it's also tunable. So it has the ability to change the tension of the head, which creates a different sound. And if people become experts, are very well at playing this instrument, it can also sound like a drum, which you kind of heard from the video.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. I'm going to launch the next instrument, second to last one. Okay, so everybody ready? Listen and guess. Couple more seconds. All guesses in. Oh yeah, I always like this one because it's tricky. So in fact, this one I was not that close. Sorry. Simona knows how to pronounce this one, so I won't butcher it. When she gets to explain it, you will hear the better pronunciation. So most of you thought it was some kind of bagpipey thing, which is what it actually sounds like. So you'll be so excited to see this video. This guy's my favorite one for sure. So another true or false question, maybe a little bit easy to answer, but you're gonna listen to this guy for a long time because he's so cool. Ooh. Jump ahead to the end. So we all have to go to Sardinia so we can see that guy. And I think Simona is going to tell you more about these guys.
Yes. So so the answer, most of you were correct. So it is an instrument that's made of 3 reed pipes. It is originally from Sardinia, so a region in Italy, and a lot of you were fascinated by what Kelly here is describing with the correct term, that's circular breathing instruments. And an example of something that some of you might have, another instrument some of you might have seen that uses circular breathing is the didgeridoo from Australia. And some of you were saying kind of like, oh, like it takes a lot of skills to kind of like take the air in from your nose and then kind of like continuously without making breaks in the notes. And so like we hear it as a continuous sound instead of being broken down. And so I have a piece of trivia for all of you that I found, that the Guinness, the world record Guinness for keeping circular breathing sound without stopping, it's 47 minutes. So it definitely goes on for a long time. And some other interesting information you can find here is that, of course, it's an instrument that goes back to like 3,000 years ago. Even if it's a very old historic instrument, there are still today a few experienced and talented players. The one that we saw is the most famous one, but there are probably not more than 20 players still alive that do it. And another piece of trivia that was interesting that you might have noticed when you watched the video is that, differently from other wind instruments, the holes in the reeds are plugged with the phalange of your fingers instead of like the fingertips that would be like more normal for other wind instruments.
Okay, thanks, Simona. We're gonna go to the final guy, the final instrument. Put Natalia on the spot. Okay, oh, let me launch it. As you can see, here's the choice, A, B, C, D. And take a listen. Everybody get their answer in, get their answer in. Okay, and good job. Good job, good job. You're right. The balalaika from Russia. And oops, you guys didn't see because I just shared now. Okay, there you go. And then I said the last guy was the coolest guy, but I think this guy might be just as cool, if not cooler. Here's the true false question. Okay, I think you can probably tell this by the video as well. And we'll watch that while you guys answer the question.
Мама с папой решили отдать мне музыкальную.
That was for the Russians in the room to check what he's saying. But I'll let Natalia, I'll end the poll and show it and let her share with you the information about this instrument.
Yeah, so it is true, you're right. And you've seen how that was done. Considered to be traditional Russian stringed instrument. It's from the lute family. Balalaika is played in Russia and Central Asia, but what's interesting is most likely, we don't know exactly where it came from, but most likely it came from Tatars, and it is used in Europe by Ukrainians, Gypsies, and Belarusians, etc. As again, playing technique is similar to guitar, so when you, it is very similar. It's just like amazing how someone can do it on sometimes even 2 to 3 strings. So again, most common is the piccolo size and 3 strings, but it can be as big as contrabass. So players have to stand, and it's kind of half of the size of the human, so it can be huge. Most often, balalaika is played in the orchestra, like with all other types of balalaikas. It's also used in like even classical music, folk music, or even operas, which was kind of unique, I think. It's used till now. It's not as common. So you have seen this player, and we only have few right now. So it was very hard to find a good video because we don't really have too many players. It's still used very often on Russian bazaars and festivals. And it's dated back to 1688. So it's not such an old instrument. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Natalia. So that was the last instrument, but we're gonna do one final poll for you guys to find out which ones, what you thought about each of these instruments, but I have them written here so you can see pictures of them so you don't have to remember the names. So we just want to see what you guys think. Interesting. I've got 15 of 22, so some last minute votes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll share. Okay, so it looks like, oh, the kora one. I'm surprised the kora one. But which one would you guys like to play? Maybe because it's the easiest one? Or maybe the bin-zasara was the easiest one? And the last one, the most difficult one. Yeah, that's got to be it. So, anybody gonna pick up any of these the instruments anytime soon?